Hey, good evening, everybody. Happy Friday night. Oh, wait, it's Saturday, isn't it? Happy Saturday night. So, I want to share some cool things that have been happening lately in some of my sessions. I just think it's really fun when cool stuff happens. I like to share it with you guys because I think it helps us all trust ourselves more. And many of us have the same experiences, so it's really cool to be able to share them. I've got a couple of good ones in the hopper for you. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one today. Okay, so I was doing a live event last weekend, and the line was long, and the host of the event wanted me to limit the readings to 5 minutes a person so that we could get as many people through as possible. So I was supposed to be a 5 minute reading, and so a husband and wife sat down together, and the wife said, "Well." When it was time for her reading, I did the husband first, and when it was time for the wife's reading, she said, "Well, I'm a little skeptical, so I think I'd like to ask, what did my father call me for a pet name?" And I'm like, "Oh crap." And so I'm like, "Okay, so I said, so obviously he's not here anymore on the planet, right?" And she said, "Right." I said, "Okay, let's see what we can do." I said, "I'm just letting you know right now." And what's really cool is that I've evolved as a reader, because if somebody usually says something to me like that, where they want something really, really specific and they want it like on command, I usually get really friggin' nervous, even though I get specific things all the time, but it's not controllable. Like, I'm not a robot, right? I mean, I can, but anyway, I can try anyway. Okay, so, but I get like, I got the name of someone's dog just popped into my head, and I hear specific words and sentences all the time, so I'm always talking really specific language. But just to pull that out, what I have to do is I have to tune my frequency to that answer from that dead person and make sure that I'm not making something up in my head. So what happens is my ego kind of gets in the way sometimes, and I'm like, did I make that up or did I hear that? So sometimes it's a little hard for me to discern when I'm nervous about something. So okay, so I said to her, which was really cool because I'm confident enough in myself now that I wasn't too riled by that, because I'm like, I was just like, which is really cool for me because I don't know, I was having a really good night, and for the last week, all my readings have just been blowing my mind, and I was just in a really good frequency, and I was just relaxed, and so I was just relaxedly said to her, you know, let's see what we can do. I said, that makes me really nervous, just pulling something really specific like that on command within 5 minutes time. I'm like, I can do it, but it might take me like a half an hour, to get there, or longer. I said, a couple of minutes is that's a really tall order, but I will try. So like out of sorry, out of infinity, right? Okay. So we get started, and I said, well, I'm not getting anything right now popping in because, I'm nervous. That kind of screws up my frequencies sometimes. I said, so why don't we let that dead person, why don't we let him give me the answer with my cards, because that's what I do. I speak with dead people with my tarot cards, just like I speak with the elders with my tarot cards. So it's really fun. So I connect with her dad. We talk for a minute. We say hello. He said some messages to his daughter. He usurped the answer to the thing, and he just wanted to say some things. So we were talking and chatting for a few minutes, and then I'm like, okay, let's get down to this, get the cards. So I put out the cards. I concentrate on the cards. Actually, you're right. He's correcting me. He's like, no, you put the cards down first, and then we chatted. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I only had 5 minutes. So I got the cards out first. I put out the cards. And he gives me like 13 cards. I'm like, oh my God. He puts, because I just can feel when I'm supposed to stop the sentence, right? So I'm putting down, 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 row two, putting down, putting down, putting down. So I was like, oh my God. And then I said to him, dude, did you really have to give me like 13 freaking cards? And then he starts laughing, and I hear him laughing, and I said that kind of out loud, like in front of them. I'm like, dude, he gives me 13 freaking cards for a nickname. I'm like, oh my God, could he make it any harder? And then I said, now he's laughing. And they started laughing, and they said, and the husband said, he was a practical joker, and his favorite thing to do was to do jokes on people, and he would sometimes push things like so far that they weren't even funny anymore. That's how far he'd go with his jokes. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so funny, because I have never had anybody do that to me before. It's like he's joshing me, like, I don't even know if this says your nickname, because I don't even know what these are. He's just like randomly giving me like 13 cards. So we were laughing. So that kind of cut the ice there. So that was good. And then I did start getting some downloads on what those were. So they were different statements. Like the first 2 cards were something, and the middle 3 were another something he wanted to say. And then there was 2 cards over here, and it was the 2 of Cups and the Ace of Swords. And it's like the Ace of Swords is one big sword, okay? And the 2 of Cups was a man and a woman facing each other with a light beam going between their heads. And I said, well, these 2 here are what the nickname was. I said, I have no idea what it is yet, but these 2 stand for what the nickname was. And I said, and it's a really short, precise statement or word. And I said, that's what the Ace of Swords is. It's like, boom, that's what I said. It's like, it's like really short. And then I had the next row, right? And so I'm trying to get it, and I'm like, okay, he's making this orange ball jump out to me. So on the table was a piece of art that the homeowner owned, and they had on the table. And it was an orange globe about this big, the size of a soccer ball or so. Like a volleyball or a soccer ball. Okay, and it's orange glass, and it was like kind of marbly, orange and white, mainly orange, round. And then there was a little round piece of metal, like this round, that it was sitting on top of. So orange with a little round black piece right here, right? Got that? And then it was on a stand, a metal stand that kind of curved like a plant stand. Okay. And so I just said, he's making this orange thing jump out about what the nickname was for you. I said, I don't know what it was, but he's making this orange piece of glass jump out. And so if that has some meaning to you, the color orange or the shape of the object, or there's something with this that has to do with what your nickname is. And so then, I don't know, I tried for like 2 or 3 more minutes. We chatted back and forth, and I said, I am sorry, but I am not going to get there in this little bit amount of time. I've gotten all these signs and descriptions of it, but I'm just not getting the exact word. And I said, but I'd love to do it for you when I have more time. And so then the husband said, well, should we tell her what it was, because she was laughing, she was okay with it by that time. We were all relaxed and chatting and stuff. And he says, honey, did you notice what I noticed? And she goes, what? And they didn't tell me what the word was yet. And she said, he said, look what that is. And he pointed to the orange globe of glass. Look what that is. And she's like, I don't know if she noticed right away, but if he told her. And then, anyway, when she figured out what it was, she just broke into tears and was just overcome with emotion. And I'll show you what it was right now. I'm drawing a quick picture of it for you. And the husband said to me at that time then, he said, her nickname was Bobber. And this piece of glass looks like a Chinese bobber, he said. He said it looks exactly like a Chinese bobber. So at that point, we were all crying, because it was pretty amazing. Yeah, we were all crying at that point. And it was just like, oh my God. I'm like, oh my God, he did tell you what it was. I said many times they skip over me, and they go to the people, because it's more credible for them if they know something that I don't, but I'm still like saying the right descriptions and things. So that was great. That was amazing. And then, oh my God. So we were all crying. We got up and I hugged her goodbye. And I just felt really bad, because I'm like, oh, you must have, been fishing with your dad. And she goes, yeah, we used to fish all the time. And so I gave him a hug goodbye, and off they went, and went to the next client, And then I had to take a bathroom break. So when I was going back and forth to the bathroom, I got another download from her father. And he said that Ace of Swords was a fillet knife. And I went, oh my God. Because I said those 2 cards are what the nickname is, right? So then I went over to her. I found her in the party, because she was right outside the door still. And I said, did you guys eat the fish that you caught too? And she goes, yeah, I used to fillet them. I'm the one that cleaned all the fish. I said, that Ace of Swords was a fillet knife, and she just about died again. She's like, wow. So that was really, really cool. Don't you guys think? I thought it was pretty cool.